Listen to part of a conversation between two students.
Hey, Miguel. How have you been lately?
Stressed. My global government prof just gave us a monster project. We have to do online research and make a presentation using some kind of computer program. I have no idea about how to use that program. I've never even heard of it before. Say, you don't know anything about how the computer labs work here, do you? I've never really had to do any assignments with computers before, so I've never been to the computer labs on campus.
Actually, I worked in one of the open labs for 2 semesters. What do you want to know?
Wow, thanks, Jean. Where to begin? Well, first off, where are they?
Well, the open labs are in the basement of the library, in the Student Union building, and then there are 2 more on campus. One in the science building and one in that other new building across campus, the building where they do freshman orientation.
Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Anyway, the largest open computer lab is in the science building.
Oh, okay. Are they open 24 hours?
Unfortunately, no. They're open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 9 o'clock to 5:30 on Friday. The good news is that during the fall and spring semesters, they're open Saturdays and Sundays as well. They're open 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock during the weekend.
Uh-huh. And do they offer any kind of training on the computers? Like I said, I don't know much about computers.
Yes, they do actually. They hold computer training workshops twice a month. You can sign up for one in the library. There are also instructional tutoring sessions for students who need help with their coursework in the science computer lab, and of course, individual assistance in all of the labs.
Can I just walk in and start using a computer? Or do I need a password or something?
You don't need a password to walk in the door, but you will need one to log in and use a computer. You have a student email account, don't you?
Sure. Doesn't everybody?
Everybody could have one, but some people don't actually make use of the free service offered by this university. They'd rather pay an online company for some reason.
That's nutty.
I think so too. Anyway, I was asking you about your email account because that's how you can get a password. You have to register with the computer administration office on campus. They're the ones who send you the password.
This is getting complicated.
It's not really. It just sounds daunting if you've never done it before. Hey, do you have some time right now? I can go with you and help you register for a password.
As a matter of fact, my next class doesn't start until 3:30.
How about going to the computer lab in the student union? That's the closest one.
Lead the way. I'm right behind you.
Number 1. What kind of information does the man need? Number 2. When can the man use the facilities discussed in the conversation? Click in the correct box, yes or no, for each time. Number 3. Why does the woman mention the man's email account? Number 4. How does the woman feel about the registration process? Number 5. What will the man probably do next? Number 6. Listen again to part of the conversation. Then answer the question.
I can go with you and help you register for a password.
As a matter of fact, my next class doesn't start until 3:30.
What does the man imply when he says this?
As a matter of fact, my next class doesn't start until 3:30.
Mastering skills for the Toefl IBT Listening. Copyright 2006 Compass Publishing. All rights reserved. Chapter 1. Short Passage Skill Practice. Skill A. Understanding main ideas and organization. 1. Campus life.
Hey, I saw you guys playing softball. Could I join your team?
Well, we're full right now, actually. Are you signed up in the Intramural Sports League?
No. How does that work?
Go to Whithurst Hall, room 304, and fill out a form to sign up as a free agent. Then, if a team needs a player, they can select you from a list. You just have to sign up and pay the fees.
Fees, huh? What are those like?
Well, they're $30 per player for a season if you're on a team. I'm not sure about free agents.
Number 1. What are the speakers mainly discussing? Number 2. How does the man help the woman? Number 3. According to the man, how much does it cost to join a song? 7. Campus life.
Hey, Josie, you assessed Peter's presentation, didn't you?
Yep. I thought he did pretty well.
Me too. How did you actually fill out the assessment form?
Well, I noted down the main ideas, the strengths, and then one thing that could be improved, like how Peter was chewing gum during the presentation.
Okay, that's it?
No. Then I graded him on several areas from 1 to 4, 4 being the best. Like, I gave Peter a 4 for eye contact because he didn't look at the floor at all.
I see. You know, I asked because I'm assessing you next Thursday.
Number 1. What are the speakers mainly discussing? Number 2. How does the woman explain the procedure? Number 3. What is an example that the woman gives of a quality that earned a high grade? Skill B. Understanding details and facts. 1. Campus life.
I'd like to audition for the jazz band.
What is your name and instrument?
I'm Roger Watkins, and I play the trumpet.
Okay, that's Roger Watkins on trumpet.
Do you have any pointers for how to prepare for the audition?
Well, you will be tested on style, tempo, dynamics, scales, tone, range, and sight reading.
That's a lot of stuff. What is the most important?
You'd better have your scales memorized and be ready for sight reading.
I know my scales. I've played the trumpet since middle school, so I'll focus on my sight reading.
On the day of the audition, be sure to arrive early and give yourself plenty of time to warm up. That's very important.
Number 1. What does the man need from the woman? Number 2. What does the woman advise the man to do? 4. Campus life.
Sorry, guys. This court is reserved from 3 to 4.
Reserved? For what?
Some other students registered to reserve this court over a week ago.
How do you do that?
You go to the gym office during office hours, tell them when you want to reserve the court, and then present your student ID card. Then they'll authorize the reservation.
That's not very fair. We were here first, and someone can just reserve the court for whenever they want?
No, you can only reserve 1 hour per week and only 1 week beforehand. Otherwise, the court is on a first-come, first-served basis.
Well, I appreciate the info. Let's go, guys.
Number 1. What is the discussion mainly about? Number 2. Where does the woman suggest the man go? Number 3. According to the woman, what does a student need to show the office? 7. Campus life.
Why do we have to do a pre-lab report?
Well, the reason we do pre-lab reports is to ensure we understand what we are studying and what we are about to do.
What does it involve?
Exactly that. We state the purpose and outline the procedure.
Okay, so I start with the purpose.
That's right. Your purpose states what you are going to do and what you expect to find.
Should I talk about what was it called? My hypothesis?
Absolutely. Then outline the procedure in a flowchart.
So I should write it in this order: purpose, hypothesis, and procedure.
Yes, and please do it all in your own words. Plagiarism will be punished harshly.
Number 1. What aspect of the lab class does the woman mainly discuss? Number 2. What are 2 key features of the report mentioned in the discussion? Choose 2 answers. Number 3. According to the woman, what will be punished harshly? Skill C. Determining reasons, purposes, and attitudes. 1. Campus life.
How do you always pull off such high grades in English, Harry?
I use a computer flashcard program to remember the irregular forms. It makes studying kind of fun.
Huh? How does that help?
Well, it displays a verb, like freeze for example. Then I have to type in the simple past and past participle forms.
That would be froze and frozen, right?
Right. If I screw up, then it comes up again at the end of my list.
Wow, so it reinforces your shortcomings.
Yeah. It also provides adjectives with synonyms, phrasal verbs with definitions, and it has grammar exercises as well.
Number 1. What does the woman want the man to do? Number 2. Why does the man mention the verb freeze? 6. Campus life.
Did you hear the weather report, Jenny? It looks like the weather will clear up by Friday.
Awesome! That means we can take our class trip to the mountains after all. I was afraid our prof would have to cancel it.
I am really looking forward to the hike.
Yeah, this will be my first time hiking in the mountains.
Are you kidding? They're so close. I go up there most weekends with my friends.
I guess I'm just not the outdoors type. Are the trails on the mountain quite arduous?
Not really. Most of them are no sweat. Hiking on them is just like taking a nice long walk through the woods.
Number 1. What does the man say about the weather forecast? Number 2. Why are they happy to hear the weather forecast for Friday? Number 3. What is the woman's attitude toward hiking in the mountains? 8. Campus life.
I'm having problems logging into the SpanView system. It alleges my password is invalid.
When was the last time you logged in?
Beats me. Sometime last winter, maybe?
Well, if you haven't logged in for 180 days, you need to procure a new password from the registrar's office. Try that first. If that doesn't help, then maybe someone else has gotten a hold of your username and password.
Oh, what do I do if that's the case?
Use your secret question, probably your mother's maiden name, to regain control of your account. That should solve your problem.
Number 1. What's the woman's problem? Number 2. Why does the man ask this?
When was the last time you logged in?
Number 3. Why does the woman say this?
Beats me. Sometime last winter, maybe?
Skill review. 1. Campus life.
Good morning. I was wondering if you could give me some information about the credit by exam system?
Yes, of course. What would you like to know?
Well, first of all, I'm not really sure what credit by exam means.
Okay, it is basically a combination of tests administered by the departments of this university, the college level examination program, and other nationally recognized credit by exam programs.
Right, I know it's some kind of test, but I'm still not quite sure what exactly that means. Can you explain it in a little more detail?
The credit by exam system gives students a chance to take exams even if they are not registered in particular courses. For example, you want to take an exam in, say, English composition, but you don't want to take an English composition class. You register for credit by exam, and if you pass the exam, you get the credit. So, you can demonstrate competence attained by educational experience rather than university instruction.
So I can take various exams even if I didn't register for that course or didn't attend any of the classes or lectures, and I can still get credits for taking those tests?
That pretty much sums it up.
Now, is it possible to get credits for graduate courses? I'd kind of like to combine my undergraduate degree and a master's degree at the same time, if that's possible. If I could get my BA and an MA at the same time, that would be great.
It would certainly save a lot of time, but I'm afraid that this is only for certain undergraduate courses.
Oh, well.
And of course, I hope you realize that guest matriculants are not eligible for credits.
I'm sorry, guest matriculants?
I mean students who have been admitted to the university through an external program, but are not actually registered as full-time permanent students of this university.
Exchange students and that kind of thing?
They would fall under that category, yes, and extended study students too.
I'm a little worried about how the credits would appear on my transcript. Will there be anything on my transcript to indicate that I did not actually attend classes? I'm afraid that might affect my chances of being accepted to a graduate program if I have not actually attended the classes.
There will be nothing to show the credits were earned under the credit by exam system, but I don't think you need to worry. Each department has very strict eligibility criteria for students, and everyone taking a test is expected to have quite an extensive knowledge of the area to be tested. The credits you receive through testing are just as valid as credits received in the regular way. In any case, only a select few universities are being allowed to participate in the system, so academic standards are being tightly monitored.
Do you have a list of the courses for which students can receive credit by exam?
Yes. Why don't you take this information package, take a look, and give me a call if you have any more questions.
Great, thanks.
Number 1. What does the woman want? Number 2. How does the man explain credit by exam? Choose 2 answers. Number 3. According to the man, what is an example of a guest matriculant? Number 4. According to the woman, what might be a problem with earning credits this way? Number 5. Why does the man tell the woman that she doesn't need to worry? Number 6. What does the woman mean when she says this?
Exchange students and that kind of thing?
Skill D. Matching words and categories. 1. Campus life.
Are you campaigning for the Senate this year?
I hadn't thought about it. What does it involve?
Student senators decide what to do with the money we pay in student fees, and they deal with all of the organizations at the university. Stuff like that.
Who's eligible to run?
You have to be a full-time student and have at least a 2.0 GPA.
So, if you are elected, are you in until you graduate?
No, it's just a year. Then you can be re-elected. You can be kicked out, too, if you don't attend the meetings.
Sounds interesting. I'll mull it over.
Number 1. What are the 2 qualifications needed to run for a student senate position? Choose 2 answers. Number 2. What does the student mean when he says this?
Stuff like that.
Four. Campus life.
Excuse me, sorry. How do I know which textbooks I need?
It's listed in the course schedule for some classes, but it's best to go to the first class and get the syllabus to be sure. Textbooks are pretty expensive. You don't want to buy one you don't need.
Okay. Are there any used textbooks?
Usually. They're half off and are stacked next to the new ones. Look for the blue label. First come, first served.
Uh-huh. If I get the wrong book, can I get a refund?
Yes, within 7 days of purchase. However, you must bring back the receipt, and the book must be in the same condition as when you bought it.
Number 1. What are some of the conditions necessary for a student to get a refund on a textbook? Choose 3 answers. Number 2. What does the woman mean when she says this?
You don't want to buy one you don't need.
Number 3. Are these statements true based on the information in the conversation? For each phrase, mark the correct box. 7. Campus life.
Remember, these swimming drills are not for fitness. They are for recovery.
I understand. I'm not trying to get in shape.
That's right. And that's important because you don't want to overdo it.
So, I should swim slowly?
Yes, you should be very relaxed and keep your heart rate down.
So, what is the goal of these sessions?
The most important thing is getting your balance. The goal is to have perfect form throughout the session. Your neck and spine should be aligned at all times.
How is that possible?
Only your hips and your chin rotate.
Okay, I'll try.
Number 1. According to the instructor, what is the main goal of the swimming session? Number 2. Why does the man say this?
I'm not trying to get in shape.
Number 3. Match each word with the correct classification. Skill E. Making inferences and predictions. 1. Campus life.
Your English is really progressing, Maria.
It's all thanks to my language partner.
What do language partners do?
Well, they get together with foreign students for 1 or 2 hours a week and help them practice casual conversation.
Is that all?
No, most partners explain Canadian culture and go to concerts and parties together. Mine has shown me some tremendous attractions here in Vancouver.
Isn't it kind of expensive?
No, the partners are all volunteers. It's a great way to make friends and practice English with a native speaker at the same time. My partner has really helped me adjust to life in Canada.
Number 1. Are these statements about what language partners do true? For each phrase, mark the correct box. Number 2. What can be inferred about the woman? 4. Campus life.
How do I register for a student union class?
Just head up to the 3rd floor of the Student Union building.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, wait. Is the course you want to take work-related? If it is, you might want to register at the Student Employment Office.
Actually, it is. I'm an aspiring bartender. I was hoping to get my bar skills certificate so I could apply for a position in a bar.
Is the bar here on campus?
Yes.
In that case, I would recommend registering at the Student Employment Office. That way you can automatically apply for the bartending job when you register for the course.
That's great. Thanks a lot.
Number 1. Are these statements about the woman true? For each statement, mark the correct box. Number 2. Listen again to part of the conversation and answer the question.
Just head up to the 3rd floor of the Student Union building.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, wait. Is the course you want to take work-related?
What can be inferred about the woman? Number 3. What will the man most likely do next? 7. Campus life.
Excuse me, could you tell me where the campus post office is located?
It's on the 1st floor of the Student Union building, next to the information desk.
Do you know its hours of operation?
7:30 to 3:30, but during the summer it opens later, at 8 a.m.
So from next month it will open at 8 a.m. I see. Do they sell envelopes and stuff like a regular post office?
Yes, they primarily sell stamps and envelopes, but they carry other relevant postal products as well.
Do they have a post office box service?
Yes, P.O. boxes can be rented for $5 a month.
That's $5 per month?
That's right. That's the same price you'll find at off-campus post offices too.
Is that right? Then I might as well rent one on campus.
Number 1. Is each of these post office services discussed in the conversation? Choose yes or no. Number 2. Listen to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
That's the same price you'll find at off-campus post offices too.
Is that right?
What can be inferred about the student? Number 3. What will the woman probably do? Skill F. Placing steps in a sequence. 1. Campus life.
I need to apply for a room change. I'm having some problems with my roommate. Is this where I'm supposed to come?
Yes, it is. However, we don't grant room change requests except under special circumstances. If you have a roommate conflict, you have to try to resolve it first using the conflict resolution procedure.
Oh, all right. What's the procedure?
Basically, you get all the roommates involved together and each one conveys their perspective. Then you make a plan on how to resolve the problem and each roommate commits to making the necessary changes. After 1 month, there's a formal review.
Okay, thanks. I guess we'll try that then.
Number 1. In the dialogue, the woman describes the steps in the process of roommate conflict resolution. Put the steps in order. Number 2. How does the man probably feel before he speaks to the woman? Six. Campus life.
I just signed up for BLAST.
Blast? What's that?
It's a volunteering program.
Really? I've been meaning to do some volunteer work. What does it involve?
helping freshman students, conducting surveys, handing out flyers, making public announcements about events, and stuff like that. It's a good way to develop your public speaking skills.
It sounds great, but I don't have a lot of free time this year. I'm trying to get into law school.
Law school? Then it's perfect for you.
Yeah, I guess it would look good on my CV.
And it's not a big obligation. Just 30 minutes every other week.
Is that all? I could handle that.
Number 1. In the conversation, the speakers talk about their plans. Summarize the conversation by putting the topics in the correct order. Number 2. Listen to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
It sounds great, but I don't have a lot of free time this year. I'm trying to get into law school.
Law school? Then it's perfect for you.
What does the speaker mean when he says this?
Law school? Then it's perfect for you.
Number 3. What does the woman mean when she says this?
Is that all? I could handle that.
Chapter 2. Long Passage Skill Practice. Skill A. Understanding main ideas and organization. 1. Campus life.
Hello, I'm one of the students who needs to take the first aid certification course in order to go on the winter break meteorological expedition.
Okay. Which course date did you want to sign up for? There are 2 courses offered every month, except for November when we have 3. The courses are all 2 weeks long.
What are the times?
Well, next month there are 2 courses. There's a morning and an evening course. The morning course is from 8 a.m. to noon, and the evening course from 5 to 9 p.m.
Huh. Well, you see, I go to class during the day and work at night. There's no weekend course?
I'm afraid not. The expedition starts in January, right?
That's right. We leave January 3rd.
Well, you could take the course in December after your finals are over.
Huh. Yeah, I guess I'll have to. How much is this course?
It's $300, which includes all aspects of first aid, including CPR and mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
Who's the course instructor?
Jeff Fulbright. He's a retired paramedic with over 35 years of experience. This is a nationally recognized qualification.
What is CPR exactly?
It stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Basically, it's what you perform on a patient who isn't breathing or whose heart isn't beating. It's like giving a car a jump start.
What do you mean?
Well, you know when you jump start a car, the battery is out of juice. So you connect it to another car's battery using jumper cables and use the energy from the working car to revive the dead battery. After that, the battery should replenish itself and be okay.
Right.
Same principle. With CPR, the heart has stopped beating, so you kind of pump the heart back to life by applying pressure to the chest in rhythmic intervals. You're like the battery giving juice to the battery without juice. Hopefully, by doing CPR, you will get the heart to start beating on its own again.
That sounds like a handy skill.
Sure is. The course will also give you some useful procedures for your expedition, like how to treat hypothermia and frostbite.
That's good, though hopefully I'll never need it.
Hopefully you'll never need any of the training, but it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Well, can I sign up for the morning course in December then?
Sure. You can fill out this form and pay the $300 in cash, by check, or debit card. Or if you want to, you can register online at the website listed at the bottom of the form.
I see. Is there a registration deadline or anything?
The cutoff date for registration is 1 week prior to the start date, but it's best to register as far in advance as possible. It's rare, but sometimes the courses do fill up.
Well, okay. Thanks for all your help.
No problem. Have a nice day.
Number 1. What is the woman trying to do? Number 2. What are the speakers mainly discussing? Number 3. How does the man explain CPR? Choose 2 answers. Number 4. Listen again to part of the conversation and answer the question.
That's good, though hopefully I'll never need it.
Hopefully, you'll never need any of the training, but it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not.
5. Campus life.
Come in.
Excuse me, Professor Altman? Am I disturbing you? I have a question about the exam.
No, come in, come in. What is it with you students? Always worried about disturbing me. Why is that?
Well, I don't know. Aren't professors really busy preparing classes and doing research?
Yes, that's true. But you see, forgive me, what was your name?
Emily.
Ah, yes, Emily. You see, Emily, these office hours are not my time to be making class preparations or doing my research. This is my time that is available for the students. This is why I am here now. Your tuition fees are paying for my house and car and the hot dog I ate for lunch. In return, I teach you about human behavior, if I can, and I hold office hours for you to converse with me. You see, it's an economic exchange.
Really? So we can just come in any time to chat?
Well, yes. During the office hours, basically yes, but it's always nice to be a bit prepared, of course.
What do you mean?
Well, as you know, there are many students and only 8 office hours per week, so we want to use this time wisely and efficiently.
Oh, like I should prepare a specific question.
Yes, that's always nice, of course. Having a specific reason is a great start and can accelerate the process. Some students, they want to get a good reference, so they come by all the time just to chat so that I know them well. Although I certainly want to get to know the students in my classes, that's too much,
So, mainly these office hours are just if we're having problems in the course.
No. Also if you would like some, further clarification of some concept as well. But if you do come in for a problem, don't just come in and say, "Oh no, oh help, I will never pass. It is hopeless. Please help me, Professor." Then I have to spend an hour asking questions to ascertain the specific problem. And sometimes students want me to figure out an adequate paper topic for them and get them started on their research. That is okay, but you need to come with some ideas, something to start with.
Okay, that all makes sense. Wow, thanks for taking the time to explain this to me. I should have been taking advantage of the office hours system a lot more over the past 2 years. They really should explain this to us when we start at the university.
Ah, yes, this would make perfect sense. But do they do it? No, it needs doing though. Then I have to do it. You don't have to tell me.
I wonder if there is some way to suggest it. Like, is there someone in charge of freshman orientation who could be told about this problem?
That sounds like an excellent question for your academic advisor.
Oh, you're right. I'll have to ask her the next time I go see her.
Anyway, Emily, how can I help you today?
Number 1. What are the people mainly discussing? Number 2. What is the professor's main point? Number 3. What does the woman learn from speaking to her professor? Number 4. What does the professor imply when he says this?
Your tuition fees are paying for my house and car and the hot dog I ate for lunch.
Skill B. Understanding details and facts. 1. Campus life.
Is there something I can help you with?
Yes, I have a few questions about that online tutoring service. I can't remember what it's called.
You mean smartthinking.com? I think I can probably answer any questions you might have. What would you like to know?
Well, I'm thinking of enrolling, but there are a couple of things I'd like to know first. Like, for one thing, are there any restrictions on log-on times? I usually do my work late at night, so it won't be much use to me if it can only be accessed during regular working hours.
Not to worry. You are free to log on anytime, anywhere.
That's good to hear. I've also heard that there is some kind of writing clinic or something. What can you tell me about that?
Ah, you mean the writing lab. Yes, what that is a tool to help you improve your writing. You could submit your writing to the online writing lab, and you will receive a critique with some constructive criticism to help you develop your writing skills. It's also open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That should be helpful. Will I get an instant reply?
It won't be instant, but you will receive a reply within 24 hours. We give priority to distance education students because it is impossible for them to consult their instructors face-to-face. But everyone using Smart Thinking will get a fast response. Remember the 24-hour rule, though. If you have a paper due at 8 o'clock the following morning, you probably won't get your response in time. Always submit your work at least 2 days before the paper is due. Be sure to leave yourself enough time to do revisions as well.
What about security? Is there any chance somebody could get a hold of my paper and copy it for themselves?
Absolutely not. Everyone who has access to submissions in the writing lab is accountable.
Oh, the papers go to a writing lab? So these aren't English professors who are giving feedback?
No, your paper will be evaluated by a graduate student who works in our writing lab. Most of them are English majors, but even if they're not, they all have a strong background in writing.
I see. Now, I know that the tutoring program is free, but is there any kind of registration fee for first-time users?
No, there are no charges at all. However, only students currently enrolled at Citywide Community College can use Smart Thinking. It has been set up to provide academic support for our students, so unfortunately, we can't offer the service to anyone else. Are you currently enrolled at this community college?
Yes.
Great. What kind of computer do you have?
I have a Mac. That won't be a problem, will it?
No, not at all. As long as you have Internet Explorer, you'll be able to log on to the online tutoring system with no difficulties. I assume that you have a modem?
Right. I have a 56K modem.
That's fine. Then all you need to do now is choose your subjects and sign up.
Can I sign up right now?
Of course. Those 2 computers right over there have Internet access. You can use either one to log on and sign up.
Great, thanks.
Number 1. What is the purpose of the conversation? Number 2. What are the main points in the conversation? Number 3. Which of the following must be true in order for the woman to use the service? Six. Campus life.
Hey, what's that you're looking at there? Can I see?
What? Oh, hi, Mara. Yeah, I'm just reading the campus newspaper.
The campus newspaper? Do people really read that? Is there anything interesting in it?
Yeah, actually. I was just reading an article in this issue on crime statistics for this university.
Campus crime? Surely crime isn't a problem here at our school.
If you had asked me 10 minutes ago, I would have said no. And, well, I guess overall it really isn't. Although it would be interesting to compare the situation with a couple of other schools.
So what does the article say about crime here? I didn't realize there was any. You never hear about anything.
Well, the article gives the figures for the past 3 years. Overall, the number of crimes committed has increased, but not in every category.
Oh? So what kinds of crimes were committed? What kinds have increased?
Well, as you might expect, nothing too serious. I mean, there weren't any murders or anything like that.
Glad to hear it. I guess that's something we would have heard about.
But there were a lot of cases of theft.
I suppose I did hear of several people who had their laptops ripped off, actually. And wallets tend to disappear too, don't they?
Right. I was shocked to find out that the number of thefts doubled from 34 to 70 during the first 2 years reported in this article.
Wow, that's a massive jump.
But then there was a decrease last year.
What are the figures for last year?
Still high, but only 60 as opposed to 70 for the previous year.
Perhaps we can thank the new security cameras.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But in fact, the number of burglaries soared from only 1 2 years ago to 9 last year. Here's how I see it. Laptops have become more common, so that may explain the increase in theft in recent years. People started carrying valuable things around with them. Then, a lot of people had them stolen, and a lot of people heard about it. Then they started being more careful with their stuff as of last year, and because people were being more careful with their stuff when they were out and about, the thieves had to resort to burglary. That's just my guess.
That sounds reasonable. So, any other kinds of crimes?
There were 2 sex offenses in the first year reported in this article, but none in the next 2 years.
Well, that's good. I hope it's not a case of them not being reported, though.
Good point. There were also 2 cases of weapon possession last year. That's a new crime. There were no prior cases of that.
Do you mind if I borrow your newspaper after you finish with it? I'd like to read the rest of that article.
Number 1. What is the topic of the conversation? Number 2. What is the main idea of the conversation? Number 3. What does the man say about thefts and burglaries over the past 3 years? Number 4. What does the woman imply when she says this?
Perhaps we can thank the new security cameras.
Skill C. Determining reasons, purposes, and attitudes. 1. Campus life.
What is that weird phone for, anyway?
The one with the blue lights?
Yeah.
That's an emergency phone. You just push the red button and you get campus security.
I guess that's a good idea. It probably works more as a deterrent than a phone, though.
What do you mean?
Well, I was just thinking that if you were going to attack somebody, you wouldn't do it anywhere near a blue light phone.
Yeah, I guess I never thought of that. It can also be used for other emergencies, though, like if you hurt yourself.
Does anybody ever use it, even when they don't have an emergency?
I think there's a pretty hefty fine if you do. I mean, if you press that button and don't say anything, they know your location and will get there pretty fast.
They know your location? That's a good idea. Sometimes you can't communicate in an emergency.
Yeah, that's why the prank calls are taken so seriously. They'll still come out here to verify that there isn't a problem, even if you don't utter a word.
So, what if you're inside and you need help?
Same as anywhere else. You call 911.
But wouldn't it be better to call campus security? I mean, they're a lot closer.
Yeah, you can call campus security and then they'll call 911. That's probably a better idea, actually.
Yeah, but then again, you're not going to take the time to look up the number during an emergency.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea to keep the number by your phone.
And what about those campus phones? For a normal call, you have to dial 9 first. So, do you have to dial 911 or does 911 work automatically?
No, I think you do have to dial 9911.
That's good to know.
Another thing, campus security has two numbers. You have to make sure you're calling the right one.
What's the other one for?
Non-emergency situations.
Non-emergency? Like what?
Like if you need to report a crime. You call 911 if there's a fire or if you have a medical emergency.
Yeah, or a crime, right?
A crime in progress, yes. But suppose you're not in any immediate danger. Suppose you are the victim of a crime, then you would report it to campus security by calling the non-emergency number.
Like if someone stole your history paper?
Very funny. No, but if someone stole your CD player, you could report that.
I wouldn't go to the regular police for something like that?
For a CD player, no. That's something you'd report to the campus police.
I've been really lucky. I haven't had any emergencies or crimes in the past 2 years.
Except for that stolen history paper.
Number 1. What are the people mainly discussing? Number 2. What are the main things they can do? Number 3. Why is there a fine for using the blue light phones in non-emergency situations? Number 4. Listen to part of the conversation. Then answer the question.
A crime in
4. Campus life.
Have you thought about what you're going to do this summer, Gloria?
Well, I can work full-time at the restaurant if I want to.
That's where you worked last summer, right?
Yes, and I'm still working there part-time.
Do they pay pretty well?
Yes, with tips the money is pretty good. But I'm graduating next year, so I'd like to get some experience in my field.
That's a good idea. Maybe you should try to get an internship.
An internship? I'd love to. It would mean a pay cut, but it'd be worth it.
Yeah, they don't pay very well, but in the long run, they sure do pay off. Not only do you get experience, you make all kinds of contacts.
Yes, it would be good to have some experience and some references under my belt when I start looking for work after graduation. I just have no idea how to go about finding a summer internship.
Why don't you go to the summer job internship fair?
I didn't know such a thing existed. When do they hold that?
Hang on, I've got the pamphlet in my backpack.
Great.
Here it is. Let's see. It's actually next week on the 16th. It starts at 9:30 a.m. and goes until 3 p.m.
Is it here on campus?
at the University Center Ballroom.
That's great. Is it casual or should I dress as if I'm going to an interview?
It says here that it's business casual.
So, should I bring my resume?
It's not mandatory, but it's a good idea.
Okay. Does it say there what kinds of internships are available?
You're into logistics, right?
Yep.
Well, they've got something at Office Depot and at Walmart.
Fantastic. Are you going too?
Yes, I'm going to try to get hired on at a summer camp.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
It sure would be. It would be a good experience, too, since I'm studying to be a teacher.
Yeah, that would be excellent. Are there many camps listed on there?
There are 3. One's at Camp Tonawanda, one's at Wesley Woods, and the other is at Camp Webb.
Camp Tonawanda? I went there when I was a kid. I had a horrible time. The camp counselors were awful.
Really? Well, I'll be different.
I'm sure you will. I'll give you a few pointers sometime.
Let's just wait and see if I get the job.
You won't have any trouble. You're at the top of your class, and you do all that volunteer work.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, and good luck to you.
Thanks. I'll need it. Hey, do you want to go together?
Sure, we should go early.
Good idea. We'll look enthusiastic that way.
Let's meet at 9:15.
Number 1. What are the people mainly discussing? Number 2. What does the woman mean when she says this?
Well, I can work full-time at the restaurant if I want to.
Number 3. Why does the man want to work at a summer camp? Number 4. Listen to part of the conversation. Then answer the question.
An internship? I'd love to. It would mean a pay cut, but it'd be worth it.
Yeah, they don't pay very well, but in the long run, they sure do pay off. Not only do you get experience, you make all kinds of contacts.
Yes, it would be good to have some experience and some references under my belt when I start looking for work after graduation.
What can be inferred about the woman? Skill review. 1. Campus life.
Excuse me, I'm new here. Would you be able to give me some information about the night ride?
The shuttle bus? I sure can.
Great. When does it run?
Let's see. I think the schedule has changed since last year, so just let me have a look, okay? Here it is. It runs from 8 p.m. until 12:15 a.m.
Is there a fixed schedule? Does it come at regular intervals?
It runs approximately every 15 minutes.
Okay. Is that going to change in the winter quarter?
No, that's the schedule for the fall, winter, and spring quarters. Since it's only here to cater to student needs, it runs on a less frequent schedule in the summer since there aren't as many students attending classes.
I see. So now it runs Monday through Friday, right?
No, the night ride only runs on school nights, Sunday through Thursday.
Sundays too? That's great.
That's right, but not Fridays.
I won't need it Fridays. That's when I review my lecture notes. I can do that at home. So through the week, can I catch the night ride at the library? I usually study at the library.
The bus runs on a circuit through campus and the surrounding communities. The pickup points on campus are at Parrington Hall, the Communications Building, the Hub, Garfield Lane, and Meany Hall.
Isn't Meany Hall that old building adjacent to the library tower?
Yes, that's correct.
I see. So I guess I could just catch it at Meany Hall. Where would I get dropped off?
There are no specific drop-off points. You just tell the driver where you want to go.
Really? He'll take me right to my doorstep?
Sure, as long as your doorstep is within a mile of campus.
A mile? I think my place is probably a little more than a mile.
Well, you could go in that direction on the shuttle and walk the rest of the way. Or you could get let off at one of the local bus stops.
Maybe I'll just take my bike. Can I take my bike on the shuttle?
Good question. I'm not sure. But maybe not. They haven't got bike racks. Maybe you could do this. Take your bike to the bus stop, lock it up, take the bus to school, and then on your way home you could take the shuttle and get dropped off at the bus stop where you left your bike.
Do you think my bike would be safe there?
Well, of course. Those stops are not affiliated with the university, so I can't really guarantee that, but I know other students haven't had any trouble.
I might as well just ride my bike to school and back.
That's another option. But then again, you can't really ride your bike in the winter.
Why not?
Well, the winters here can be pretty harsh.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I can try the bus out and see how well it works for me. Thanks for all of your help. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Number 1. What does the man need to know? Number 2. What does the man do on Fridays? Number 3. What is an example of the kind of information the student needs? Number 4. According to the woman, at what time does the shuttle bus stop running? Number 5. Which location is close to the library? Number 6. What does the woman mean when she says this?
Well, the winters here can be pretty harsh.
Skill D. Matching words and categories. 1. Campus life.
Hey, Jill, you're looking down. What's wrong?
Hey, Mike. Man, my whole academic career is in jeopardy. I don't know what to do anymore about my studies.
What do you mean? I thought you were skating through your classes and enjoying it.
That's the disheartening part. I was really enjoying my classes. I really thought social work was the vocation for me, and that I had an aptitude for it.
So, what went wrong?
I just got my statement of grades back from last semester. I got a C- in one of my core classes. That means I can't take the next level. I don't know what to do.
How did you do in your other classes?
Fine, mostly A's and B's. I don't know how I ended up with a C-.
What do you mean? You didn't expect that grade?
No way. I had been doing quite well up until the final exam and term paper. In fact, it had been my best class.
Do you know the grade you earned on your exam and paper?
No, but I must have bombed them to drop my grade down to a C-.
Well, how did you feel about them? I mean, did you work hard on the paper? Did you find the exam really tough?
I worked really hard on that paper. Man, I did tons of research on it, but I guess I didn't write it that well. The exam was tough, but I didn't think I'd done so badly afterwards. I don't want to have to take that class again.
Well, retaking that class is one option if you really want to continue with social work, but there are other options. Have you spoken to your professor about your grade yet?
No, do you think she'll be willing to change it?
Well, first you make sure your grade isn't a mistake. I mean, if you were doing so well and you felt your paper and exam went well, it could just be a simple mathematical slip by the prof. I mean, they do have a ton of work to do with their own research and then grading exams and term papers and adding them up and entering them into the university computer system. I'm sure they make mistakes all the time. In fact, that very thing happened to a friend of mine last year.
I hadn't thought of that. I just assumed that I screwed up.
Another thing you can do is ask the professor to reevaluate your paper if it did indeed receive a low grade. You said you worked hard on it, and if you really want to continue with your studies, the prof might give you a break on it.
Good idea. I hadn't thought of that either.
As a last resort, you could appeal the grade with the department head, but you have to be really sure the professor has intentionally given you a lower grade than you deserve.
Wow, I don't think that'll be necessary, but I'm definitely going to see my professor and ask her some questions about my grade. Thanks for the advice.
No problem. Good luck.
Number 1. Is each of these courses of action discussed in the dialogue? Mark the correct box. Number 2. What does the man advise the woman to do? Number 3. What is the discussion mainly about? 4. Campus life.
Hey, Nancy, have you heard about the university's new alcohol policies? Man, it really ticks me off.
I haven't heard anything. What's going on?
They've decided to make it a dry campus.
Wow, that's a big step. I'm not so sure it's a bad idea, though. Why are you so mad about it?
What? Come on. We're all adults here. At least the vast majority of students here are old enough to drink legally.
That's true, but they're not all mature enough to drink responsibly.
Well, who are you or even the university president to judge that? The law says it's okay for them to drink.
Yes, but I've seen enough people drink too much and get themselves in trouble. What is their plan to go dry anyway?
Well, they're not going to serve beer in the bullpen anymore. They're also forbidding students to bring alcohol into their dorm rooms, and they're even assigning extra security guards to the fraternity houses to stop students from drinking.
Those are pretty extreme measures. Have they given their rationale for implementing them?
Yeah. Do you remember last spring, one student died of alcohol poisoning? I think his parents sued the university. These measures must be a reaction to that. They cite statistics on assaults, unruly behavior, and academic performance.
Those all sound like pretty compelling reasons to me. In fact, a friend of mine had some trouble last year after coming home from the bullpen one Friday night. Now she never walks alone on campus at night.
Well, those are good reasons, but it's still disrespectful to those of us who can drink responsibly. In fact, one of the big reasons I decided to live on campus was for the social life. Now the school is killing that. I've got a good mind to sue them for my dorm fees back and get an apartment in a more exciting area off campus.
Hey, Derek, I sympathize with you and all, but you're not really making any sense now.
Yeah, I guess I was going overboard a little there. Okay, I'm not about to sue the school, but I really might move off campus, and I probably won't be the only one.
All right, that's your choice. I think I'll stay in the dorms. It'll still be a convenient place for attending classes, consulting with professors, and doing research in the library. I don't want to spend too much time commuting every day when I could be studying instead.
Yeah, you've got some good points there. Still, if we can't drink on campus, then a lot of students will be going to other areas of the city to drink and have fun. This means we'll likely see an increase in drunk driving charges, maybe even injuries and deaths. In the end, I'm not sure if they're improving the health of the student body or just sweeping the problem under the carpet, so to speak.
That's a pretty strong argument. I think you should take it up with the president.
I just might write him a letter.
Number 1. Are these statements true about the new university policies? Mark the correct box. Number 2. What is the woman's opinion of the university's new alcohol policies? Number 3. What are the reasons for the university changing their alcohol policies? Choose 3 answers. Number 4. According to the man, what may be a negative consequence of the new policy? Skill E, making inferences and predictions. 1. Campus life.
What's the matter, John?
Oh, I'm just really frustrated at the moment. My midterm paper for my philosophy class is due at 5 o'clock, and I have to type it out, but the computer lab is always packed with people. No matter what time of the day I go there, there is always a waiting list a mile long to get on a computer.
Which computer lab do you go to?
What do you mean, which lab? The only computer lab I know of is the one in the basement of the library.
Actually, there are several computer labs around campus. The one in the basement of the library is the biggest, but that is probably why everyone goes there. That, or like you, they don't know about the others. Personally, I use the computers in Anderson Hall.
Anderson Hall? Isn't that the business administration building?
Yeah, they only have about a dozen computers in that lab, but it's pretty easy to find free ones there. I guess not many people know about it.
I had a business class there last semester, but I never saw a computer lab in that building.
It's kind of hidden away. My roommate's an accounting major. She spends most of her time in that building, and she told me about it.
So where is it then?
Do you know where the student lounge is in Anderson Hall?
It's on the second floor, right? The first room you come to at the top of the stairs at the front of the building, I mean.
Right. And a couple of doors down from that is the copy room. Go in there and you'll find another door that goes into the business computer lab.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I always thought that door went into some kind of storage room. They should put a sign on it or something.
Maybe, but it's kind of nice that no one knows about it.
And anybody can use it? I mean, I'm not a business major. If I went in there and tried to use the computers, would anybody kick me out?
I don't think so. Even if they were reserved for business students, I don't think they'd care. I mean, like I said before, there are usually a couple of free computers. If there were people waiting, they might say something, but that's never happened to me. Anytime I go there, no one even asks for my student ID or anything. I just sign in and start working. And I really don't think there's ever been a time when somebody was waiting for a computer to become free.
I think I'll go over to Anderson after my next class and check it out. Thanks for the tip. I might actually get this paper in on time.
Number 1. What can be inferred about the man? Number 2. How does the woman feel about the lab in Anderson Hall? Number 3.